Hello everyone, so in today's video I will be making it about this Orange Pi PC Plus SBC or single board computer, and this is a regular Orange Pi PC and this is a Orange Pi PC Plus, and the only difference between these two SBCs is that the Plus has Wi-Fi adapter in it, and it also has an 8 GB eMMC storage in it as well. That's the only difference. Other than that, everything is the same. The board is the same, I guess, and the CPU is the same as this, as the Orange Pi PC. All the input and output stuff is the same. You have the 100 megabit Ethernet right there, 3 USB 2.0s, which is also present in the Orange Pi PC. You have a HDMI port. This also has a HDMI port and stereo out right there. And this is for the power adapter. It uses the same power adapter. It has a micro SD slot, so does the Orange Pi PC. And it even uses, you could use the same case in it as well, which I did here. The only difference is that this comes with an 8 GB eMMC with a Android operating system on it. But you don't have to use Android operating system. You could simply just use a microSD card. And with this case, it's very hard to get the microSD card out, so I use a tweezer like this to get it out. So it helps me get it out, and then I could just pull it out from there. And this thing is pretty useful when you have to use the power button, which is located right here. I use this to push the power button. It goes in there nice and snug. And what I did with this case was I put 3 heatsinks in there, one for the CPU, one for the EMMC memory, and the 512 megabytes of, I think it's DDR3. The other 512 megabytes of DDR3 is here. For this one, this is the CPU, and that's 512 megabytes of DDR3 RAM. So that's the only difference that you have in this. Other than that, it's not much of a difference. It came in this box right here. There really isn't very much in here other than this piece of paper. Tells you the product shall be connected to external power supply at 5 volt DC, and the maximum current of 1.5 to 2.0 amps for Model Pi exchange. Any external power supply used with Orange Pi PC. Okay, so the power supply that I used on this is, I use either a 5 volt 2.5 amp or 2500 milliamp, or I use a 5 volt 3.0 amps, and I don't have any problems booting either of these up. They seem to work just fine. So if you want to make your own, then you'll need something called a microSD card reader, which I have right here. And let me take this out. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. So I'm gonna use this to burn an image of an operating system on my Orange Pi PC Plus. This is a pretty good microSD card USB reader. This is pretty fast, actually. So now I will install the operating system on the microSD card. So the first operating system I'll be installing would be RetrOrange Pi, I think 4.2, and then I'll show you how to do that next. Yeah, now I'm on my computer and I'll be copying RetrOrange Pi, an image of that, onto my micro SD card. But before you do that, you'll need a couple of programs to do it. You'll need something called Vanilla Etcher to copy the operating system image onto your micro SD card. If you don't already have it, you could download it for your operating system. For me, I have Windows 11, so this is the one I would choose for it. And you'll need a program called 7-Zip to unzip the file that you get from RetrOrange Pi. And the next thing you'll need to get is a RetrOrange Pi operating system image. So you can go here to this website. I'll leave all these in the video descriptions below. Just go to download page when you get to the website. Just go to all images. And this SBC that I have is an Orange Pi PC Plus, which is right there. And I will be selecting, let me see. Orange Pi PC Plus. That's the one. So I'll select, let me select one. I'll be selecting 4.2, this one right here. The file is about 1 gigabyte and it's downloading right here. It's going to take a little bit of time for it to download, so I'll skip through this process. Okay, now it's downloaded. Okay, this is a file, so I'm going to be opening it up with 7-Zip. Zip. I'll extract it here. Okay. This is the file that I want to use. I'm going to open up Vanilla Etcher. Before I do that, I'll stick in my USB drive with my micro SD card in it. Got to do this first before you stick it in. So you're not going to format it. Cancel. Start Vanilla Etcher again. Flash from drive file, yes. So this is where the file is at. I'm going to press Control C, Control V here. And this is what I want right here. That's what I want to flash. Select the drive. Make sure you select the right flash drive, because you don't want to select the wrong one and have everything deleted in it. I want to see if I have any other 32 gigabyte USB flash drives. No, I don't. I just have one, so that's good. Select that and then flash it. Yes. This will take a couple of minutes. And after you finish flashing it, it's going to verify it. And that's it. You just stick it back in. You just stick the micro SD card back in your Orange Pi PC Plus and boot it up. You can do that. Nobody cares. Now it's going to verify it. That should be done pretty quickly. I'm using a pretty fast micro SD card reader. You don't want to skip it. Just make sure you verify it so the image is correct, so you don't have to do it again. It's always good to check and verify stuff. Okay, now it's done. If you want to make another one, you could just by clicking on that, but I just want to create one image. And now you just want to remove it. Just take out your micro SD card reader. That's it. Now I'm going to put it into my Orange Okay, now I'm back on my desktop computer. So I'm going to type in that IP address that I saw earlier. So it's 2// this is 192.168.1.1230. That's the one that I saw earlier, and you could also type in RetrOrange Pi, and that should also work. RetrOrange Pi. So 2// RetrOrange. That also works. I can also use IP address. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ROMs in the ROMs directory, and I'm going to explain each one. So GB is Game Boy. Put that in there. Genesis, I think it's Genesis. Or it could be Mega Drive, I'm not really sure, but so I'm using the Wi-Fi. I could also use the LAN port, and the LAN port is a lot faster. The maximum bandwidth is 100 megabits per second, so you would get about 10 megabytes per second. So next one is MAME. I think that goes into arcade. Just stick it all in there like that. And you get the idea. You just put all the ROM files in there. Next is Neo. I'm just going to put the ROM BIOS files next. So I'm just going to explain each one for the ROMs. Neo Geo is right there. NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. PCE is PC Engine or Turbo Graphics. That's this one right here. PSX is PlayStation 1, I think. SMS is Sega Master System. Or they call it Master System, Sega Master System. SNES is Super Nintendo. Virtrex is Virtrex, Virtual Boy. We have X6800, that's a Sharp X6800. ZX Spectrum is ZX Spectrum computer from the early 1980s. I think it's a British computer. Amiga is Amiga. Apple II is Apple IIc, Apple IIe. Amstrad PC. Arcade is for MAME. We have Atari 800 computer, Atari 2600, Atari 5200, Atari 7800, Atari Lynx. That's like a portable Atari video game console in the late 1980s, early 1990s. Atari ST. You get the idea, ColecoVision. But there are some... Now we're going to go to the BIOS files. So most of the BIOS files just go in here like this. But for some specific ones like MSX, I think you got to put it in here specifically. BIOS, I have MSX. Just going to open it here. These are my MSX files. Just stick it right in there, just like that. It's for MSX. We have these other systems here. Not going to worry about that now. Some emulators, BIOS for emulators, you have to be very specific. So NP2KI is, I think that's for NEC PC98. I don't know if this emulator has that. No, it doesn't have PC98 or PC88, so we don't have to worry about that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick all my BIOS files in there. This is going to take a little bit of time because there's so many of them. Skip through this. Okay, that took a long time. The Wi-Fi is pretty slow. It's not very fast. So I'm going to use, right now I'm using the LAN connection, the Ethernet. And that is pretty fast. So I'm going to put this game in there. Transferring it to my Orange Pi PC. Now it's much faster. It's like anywhere from 10 to 12 megabytes per second. I would strongly recommend that you use the Ethernet versus using the Wi-Fi if you can. But if you're using the Orange Pi PC Plus for other applications, then I guess you have to use Wi-Fi. If you're using it with some kind of sensor to detect something or something like that with the GPIO pins using Python, then probably you would need Wi-Fi. If you want to use it to measure the temperature from somewhere and you can't use the Ethernet cable, you might want to use Wi-Fi. But from my experience, it's just Ethernet is just a lot better. Okay, so let me get all of them in. Master system here. PC engine. Here's Neo Geo. For the Neo Geo emulator, you need to get the Neo Geo BIOS in the Neo Geo ROMs folder. That's how it works. You don't put it into the BIOS folder for the Neo Geo BIOS. So in Orange Pi, if you have Wi-Fi and Ethernet at the same time, then it's going to choose the Wi-Fi speed. So the speed is going to be slower even though you have Ethernet. So you have to go in there and disable the Wi-Fi in order to use the Ethernet. That in. Let me see if I got all of them in Genesis. Game Boy. Okay, that's it. So now I'm going to go back to my Orange Pi PC Plus. Okay, now I'm back to my single board computer. So now I'll be running some games, but before you do that, you have to restart RetrOrange Pi. I think this version of RetrOrange Pi is the best, 4.2. I tried 4.3, but it was kind of like buggy, especially when I was trying to run arcade games with MAME. For some reason, I couldn't insert quarters into it and start it. Even when I tried to configure the controls on MAME, it didn't work. But this doesn't have any issues. I like this one for that reason. So we're gonna test various emulators. I'm gonna test the Nintendo Entertainment emulator first. So if you want to get out, it's select and start, because I selected my hotkey to as select. If you selected something else, then it'd be something else and start. But for me, it's select and start, because that's what I selected as my hotkey. Okay, this ran pretty good, so I exited by pressing select and start. Let's try this one next. It runs good. You could also select hotkey and let me check my PlayStation 3 controller. Point of reference. So select and triangle gets me here, and I could press the circle button. Well, actually, I could press the X button, go back. I could quit like here, like that as well. So there's two ways to do it. Problems running any SNES games. Let's try something else. Let's try MSX. Okay, no problem running this. Seems to be running pretty good. Let's try this. Okay, let me get out of here. Oh yes, I have to show you something else when I run the next game. I'll be running an arcade game now. Let's see. Arcade is under arcade, not name. You could basically press the right shoulder R2 button here and get to this screen, and you could adjust the controls a little bit. You could change the buttons a little bit. So for me, I changed it here. Button 1 is A. Button 2 is B. And button 3 is Y. I changed it so the buttons are kind of like parallel to each other, which makes the game a little bit easier to play. So R2 to get out of here. If you want to go into RetrOrange, it's hot button and triangle on your controller. You could go here and change a few things. You just press X to get out. You could go to inputs and change something here. Press circle. You could change this to 1 because I want 1. Go back and you can go to input. Now you'll see just one controller. Go to input hotkeys. It's not here, so forget about it. Okay, it's here. Menu toggle is, I guess 3 is select. That's what I selected when I was configuring the control. So I'm going to get out of here, go here. You could go here and change it to analog with RetroPad with analog. And if you want to use your analog stick in the PlayStation 1, you have to go to left analog. That's pretty much all you have to do. Exit out of here. Exit. And go to save configuration and exit. Press right with D-pad, get out. Go to configuration, save current configuration, save new configuration. That's it. The name is running good. Now I can use the analog stick. Okay, so let me get out of here. Let's try one more arcade game. There's no problems with MAME using RetrOrange Pi 4.2. It's perfect. No issues with the controller or anything.
Got it.
Okay, let me get out of here. Okay, MAME seems to run pretty good. So let me go try something else. Let's try PC Engine, TurboGrafx 16. We'll play this. Okay, let me get out of here. Okay, that ran pretty good. Let's try one more. So here you could go in here, press any button, and you could change the emulator. You could change it to that if you want, if you're having problems running some games. But I'm just going to keep it at this because I didn't have any problems so far. But if you have any problem with some ROMs, you can do that. It's up to you. Okay, get out of here. Let's try Sega Master System. Pico Drive is a good emulator for this game. I guess not, so I guess we'll try some other emulator. See if we get better results. Let's try this instead. Okay, better. So you could choose different emulators if you want. Like I said, if the game doesn't work, select another emulator. Okay, let me get out of here. This runs pretty good. This ran pretty good. So let's try, I guess, Genesis. I put it into the Genesis folder. I should have put it into the Mega Drive folder. I guess that's why I don't have it, as you saw me do earlier. So let's try Game Boy. My favorite game for the Game Boy, Tetris. Okay, it runs nicely. Good. Let me get out of here. Let's try another one. Let's try Super Nintendo. This single board computer can handle up to PlayStation 1. Anything beyond that, I wouldn't recommend it. This is kind of like comparable to a Raspberry Pi 3. But I have to say the Raspberry Pi 3 has a better CPU than this SBC. And that the Raspberry Pi 3's CPU is a 64-bit CPU, but it's running at 1.4 gigahertz. And it has about the same amount of RAM. I think it uses the same DDR3 RAM, same type. When I tried to run this on the Raspberry Pi Zero, I definitely had problems running this game. It's kind of like slow. I want to see if the analog controls work. They don't work, so I go here again. I guess we have to do this for every type of emulator. So we'll go back to input again. Yeah, we have to do this for every emulator. Unfortunately, we only have to do it once. Go here. Okay, so we don't have the option for we do have option for analog. Okay, great. So I want to go here, turn this on again. Configuration, save. Now I can use my analog controls. Okay, that's enough. Definitely doesn't have any problems running 8 or 16-bit games. Let's try Neo Geo. Okay, let's select to enter coins, kind of like MAME, and start to start.
Mission 1, start!
A bunch of arthropods. Okay. Okay, that ran pretty good. No problems there. Now I'll run Nintendo 60.
It's me, Mario! Hello! Okie dokie!
Dear Mario, please come to Castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
Runs pretty smoothly. Usually a lot of single board computers have problems running this. Okay, the analog controls work for this right out of the box. I didn't have to configure anything. my SBC isn't throttling or anything because I put a pretty good cooling system in it, so we don't seem to be having any performance issues even running demanding emulators like this. Typically when a computer has a heating issue, one of the problems you'll get is throttling, meaning the computer CPU would throttle down the frequency to prevent the CPU from overheating. That leads to a degradation of performance. I'm gonna beat that Goomba up. Okay, that's good enough. So this SBC seems to be doing a pretty good job running N64 games like Super Mario 64. Let's try Turok. This is one of the more demanding games. So far so good. Ran that intro pretty smoothly. Go. So far so good, so let's play it, see how it runs. You play with the analog sticks actually for this game. How do you switch weapons? Oh, there you go. That's got to be one of my most favorite games. Okay. Good. My first kill. Guess I'm getting the hang of it. Using 2 analog sticks. Still not better than using a keyboard and mouse. So it would have to do for now. This runs pretty good. It's very smooth. I don't think Golden Eye is going to run this smoothly. Because usually that's the game a lot of single board computers have problems running. Even the Raspberry Pi 4. Okay, I think that's enough. Let me get out of here. Okay, great. That was great. Try one more N64 game. Let's try Rampage World Tour.
Well, it's true that there's been no serious side effects reported so far. I think we need to start production before...
We got some problem with sound problem. But it is playable, nevertheless. There's a slow down there. Okay, so it does have some problems.
Clearly the creature's goal is to wipe scum labs from the face of the earth.
Let me turn up the sound a little bit. But it's definitely playable, even though you have some performance issues. So let me get out of here. It is playable. It is a little bit slow sometimes, but the N64 emulator is a pretty demanding emulator, nevertheless. So let's try PlayStation. There it is. I think PSP is PlayStation 2, the portable version. I don't think this SBC could run that. Definitely would have problems. I didn't have any problems running any PlayStation games on the Orange Pi PC 1. I didn't have any problem with it, not at all. So I shouldn't have any problems running a PlayStation games on this SBC either.
Hello.
This is my favorite game for the PlayStation 1.
Okay.
This and Gran Turismo.
Follow me. Hello. Hello. Okay. Hello. Hello. Follow me. Okay. Hello. Hello. Follow me. Okay. Wait. Okay. Hello. Hello. Follow me. Okay.
Okay. You get unlimited continues in this game. Oh yes, and another feature, you could save games. You could go to the RetrOrange menu. Now I want to configure the controls also. Go back, go to input. We have to reset this every time for each emulator. Go to input controls, user, RetroPad with analog, left analog. Configuration, save on. I'm gonna save that again. Save. We're having a problem. Okay, let me go back here. Go to input controls. I guess it doesn't like analog. So we're just gonna say RetroPad, none. Go back. And I'm going to show you about the save feature as well.
Hello. Okay. Follow me.
Okay, let's say I want to save here. I go back here to RetrOrange menu. Go to saving. Actually, you go here, I think. Back to quick menu. You select a slot and then you could save it. I could go back. I could select another slot and save it as well if I want, which I'll show you again. So let's say I want to save it here. Let's go back here. Save again. If I want to go back and load slot 0. I could go back and load slot 1 as well. That's pretty much it. So the PlayStation emulator runs pretty well. No problems with that. So when you run a PlayStation image files. I think it runs .cue files or .iso. So on this emulator, you could do something with this emulation station and Orange Pi PC. Plus, you could set something called a let me show you. It's called a hot button, power button. You could set the power button to shut off your computer. So right now it's enabled. So what I can do is I could just press on the power button on my single board computer and I could turn it off. And I'll show you that right now. Okay. I'm gonna go to my single board computer. Here, the power button is right there where my finger is at. You could use some little thing like this and push it in. I'm gonna push the button. So let me get it down a little bit. Do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for about 5 seconds, and then release it. And I press that button, and now it's off. That's what that shutdown button does on the Orange Pi PC. It's the Orange Pi PC and the Orange Pi Plus both have it. Okay, so I just started my Orange Pi PC Plus with the image of Android, which is on the EMMC storage device. So when you first turn it on without a microSD card, this is what you're gonna get. But it's in Chinese, so if you don't understand it, you could just go here and press R2 and just go down a little bit where you see A right there. Press X and then use the D-pad to go right, then up, go all the way up there, press X again, and just select the language. So for me it's English USA. Okay, now it's in English. You could go in here and install stuff via USB. You could install Kodi and stuff like that. Right now, there isn't anything in here. You can't run it. None of these things run. YouTube doesn't work. Netflix doesn't work. None of it works. But you could install stuff on here to run. So in the future, I'll make more videos about it. Okay. So to get out of here, what you have to do is there's no way to shut it down. So you go here and you press the button. Let me get that in focus. The button that's in there, the start button, to shut it off. So I'm going to do that right now. Press that. So when I press that, I get that basically. Now I could safely shut off Android. Go here and press X, OK, and it shuts off like that. That's how it shuts off.